I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. Again, continuing in the Doctrine and Covenants, my experiment of filming outside didn't work too good, so we're back here. Hopefully we don't get too much background noise. We are currently reading in section 76 of the Doctrine and Covenants. Now, a little refresher, the Amherst conference just took place. That was January 25th of 1832. This is shortly after Ezra Booth had started writing his letters being published in the Ohio newspapers, and Joseph Smith and Sidney Rigdon are back translating the Bible as their primary employment at this time. While translating the Gospel of John, there was the change or the correction of, instead of resurrection to life or resurrection to damnation, it was corrected to resurrection of the just and resurrection of the unjust. And this prompted some reflection, which then led to this section 176. In our last reading, we read the first 49 verses, in which we have a declaration of who God is, but also an explanation of the fall of Satan, which then gives us a prototype of the sons of perdition, who are the only ones that will not receive redemption from God. That's what we read last. So now we're going to pick this up in verse 50, and we're going to read to verse 80. And again we bear record, for we saw and heard, and this is the testimony of the gospel of Christ concerning them who shall come forth in the resurrection of the just. They are they who received the testimony of Jesus, and believed on his name, and were baptized after the manner of his burial, being buried in the water in his name, and this according to the commandment which he has given, that by keeping the commandments they might be washed and cleansed from all their sins, and receive the Holy Spirit by the laying on of the hands of him who is ordained and sealed unto this power, and who overcome by faith, and are sealed by the Holy Spirit of promise, which the Father sheds forth upon all those who are just and true. They are they who are the church of the firstborn. They are they into whose hands the Father has given all things. They are they who are priests and kings, who have received of his fullness and of his glory, and are priests of the Most High, after the order of Melchizedek, which was after the order of Enoch, which was after the order of the only begotten Son. Wherefore, as it is written, they are gods, even the sons of God. Wherefore all things are theirs, whether life or death, or things present or things to come, all are theirs, and they are Christ's, and Christ is God's. And they shall overcome all things. Wherefore let no man glory in man, but rather let him glory in God, who shall subdue all enemies under his feet. These shall dwell in the presence of God and of his Christ forever and ever. These are they whom he shall bring with him, when he shall come in the clouds of heaven to reign on the earth over his people. These are they who shall have part in the first resurrection. These are they who shall come forth in the resurrection of the just. These are they who are come unto Mount Zion, and unto the city of the living God, the heavenly place, the holiest of all. These are they who have come to an innumerable company of angels, to the general assembly and church of Enoch and of the firstborn. These are they whose names are written in heaven, where God and Christ are the judge of all. These are they who are just men, made perfect through Jesus, the mediator of the new covenant, who wrought out this perfect atonement through the shedding of his own blood. These are they whose bodies are celestial, whose glory is that of the sun, even the glory of God, the highest of all, whose glory the sun of the firmament is written of as being typical. This is a basic description of the celestial kingdom, or those who will be in the celestial kingdom. Now, this is the assembly of the church of Enoch and of the firstborn. The assembly of the church of Enoch and the firstborn is actually specifically talking about those who are exalted within the celestial kingdom. There are many within the celestial kingdom, as we will later read. There are three levels of the celestial kingdom. And so those of the celestial kingdom are those who receive the testimony of Christ. Now, this is referring to baptism. That's how we receive the testimony. Baptism is the gate to the celestial kingdom. Those in the celestial kingdom have been baptized. And it kind of gives you that we should receive the testimony of Jesus, believed on his name, and were baptized after the manner of his burial. So that's how we receive, that's what it's telling us there. That's how we receive the testimony. And then it tells us the state of them. They've overcome all things, they have all things are given to them. They are made perfect through Christ. This is the highest glory, as it says, the Son is written as being a type of this glory. When we look at all the glory of mortality, the Son is the greatest, and so we use that to represent the celestial glory. Now, I will say also that when it says priests of the Most High after the order of Melchizedek, which was after the order of Enoch, this isn't just the general Melchizedek priesthood that we hold today. The order of Enoch and the order of Melchizedek, the true order, this is the order of translated beings. Enoch and his entire city were translated, and later Melchizedek and his city were translated to join Enoch in his city. So this is a much greater priesthood than what is generally had among the membership today. This is the priesthood that would be had by those who have been translated. Those who have received that blessing have a much higher priesthood than any mortal can have. Just as those who are resurrected and exalted will have a greater priesthood than any mortal, and even than the translated beings will have. So there is levels of priesthood that are available in mortality, but there are higher levels that we can attain to after mortality, either through being translated or later being resurrected. But now let us continue, verse 71. And again we saw the terrestrial world, and behold, and lo, these are they who are of the terrestrial, whose glory differs from that of the church of the firstborn, who have received the fullness of the Father, even as that of the moon differs from the sun in the firmament. Behold, these are they who died without law, and also they who are the spirits of men kept in prison, whom the Son visited and preached the gospel unto them, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, who received not the testimony of Jesus in the flesh, but afterwards received it. These are they who are honorable men of the earth, who are blinded by the craftiness of men. These are they who receive of his glory, but not of his fullness. These are they who receive of the presence of the Son, but not of the fullness of the Father. Wherefore they are bodies terrestrial, and not bodies celestial, and differ in glory as the moon differs from the sun. These are they who are not valiant in the testimony of Jesus, wherefore they obtain not the crown over the kingdom of our God. And now this is the end of the vision which we saw of the terrestrial, that the Lord commanded us to write while we were yet in the Spirit. Note here, first of all, that it is, again, they have received the testimony. They did not receive it in life, but they received it after this life. If you receive the testimony of Jesus through baptism to enter into the celestial kingdom, then you must also receive the testimony of Jesus through baptism to enter the terrestrial kingdom. This is done through the salvation for the dead, the work for the dead. When we baptize, we are not, many will receive the celestial kingdom through our ministration of the baptism for the dead, but many will only receive the terrestrial. But without it, they will only receive the telestial. You can't get even out of the telestial kingdom without receiving the testimony of Christ, and that is done through baptism. No, they receive of the presence of the Son, but not of the fullness of the Father. So this means that the terrestrial kingdom will still be in the presence of Christ. They are still in his glory. And there's most of Christianity, with their whole doctrine of the Trinity and everything, they only look to be in the presence of Christ. That is what their doctrine looks forward to. It doesn't really have anything else to look forward to. That's what they're most likely going to be receiving. This is just men. These are good men. People, men and women, who live good, honorable lives, but because of the craftiness of men, because of false doctrines, they do not accept the true gospel. They receive the terrestrial kingdom, and the terrestrial kingdom is about what most Christians teach is heaven. It's about the closest you can get to what most Christians view heaven. Anyway, we're going to leave that here, and we will finish section 76 in our next reading, so I will see you there.